English,
Português, Alepenaar,
Español,
Arabic,
Nederlands. 5EBI, hear a world of difference.
Morning and welcome to the Tune Tapestry, the show where we tug at the threads of traditional and classical music from across time and place and discover the surprising connections from around the world. Yes, correctly, there's no French show. Instead, you've got me, Rachel Hay, attempting to put my university degree to good use by talking to you about traditional music from around and different ways that different cultures relate to music and understand music. And we're beginning the first program, which is music notation. So hopefully you'll stick with me over the next hour, you'll enjoy it and come back next week. But until then, Song was in Scottish Gaelic, but it was sung by the band
Colleague, who are from Cape Breton in Canada. The song is called Baha Nova Quinarella. And the interesting thing about it is that the entire chorus is basically just gibberish. It's actual words, but they don't make sense. Yalla na bahan na bahan, yalla na bahan na bahan, yalla na bahan na bahan, baha nova quinarella. Now this is because the chorus of that song was originally in Cauntarach, which is a music notation system traditionally used in Scotland for pipe music, where every note has a syllable associated with it, and every ornament has a syllable associated with it. So rather than writing the notes down, as we might be used to, traditionally pipers would learn their music by memorising these phrases of syllables. And I started with that one because I thought it's a fun song, but also to introduce the idea that music notation doesn't have to be squiggles and lines on a paper. It can be syllables, it can be light, it could even be hand gestures. And another thing to think about is the fact that modern Western notation encodes both the melody, which is where the notes are in the 5 lines, how high and low they are, and it also encodes the rhythm, which is the specific shapes of the notes on those lines. Now, this is actually fairly rare for music notation systems around the world. Most of them will just tell you one or the other, either the tune or the rhythm. So we're going to start our adventure today quite a long way away from Scotland, which we've just heard from, in South India, where the classical music of South India has a music notation system called Konakol, which is very different from Western notation in 2 ways. One, it tells you the rhythm, not the melody of the tune. And another, it is verbal. So it uses syllables and words rather than writing things down. Now, in Konakol, each syllable refers to a note length, and it provides a structure for improvisation. There are a number of rhythmic syllables which are used to subdivide the beat from 2 to 10 subdivisions. So if you have a beat like this, it divides it into different numbers of subsections. And it does have odd numbers like 5 and 7, which is fairly difficult to do in Western music notation. So you have, if this is the beat, ta, ka, ta, ta, ka, ta, ka, ta, ka, ta, ka, ta, ta, ka, ta, ta, ka, ta. I got that wrong. And then takadimi, takadimi, takadimi. Now, I'm not very good at Konakol, so we're going to hear from Vidwan Shomeshika Joyce and Kumari Shivapriya, whose names I've probably mispronounced, but we're going to do a duet of Konakol.
தரிகிடதகதா தி தொம் நம் தரிகிடதக தரிகிடதகதா தி தொம் நம் தரிகிடதக தரிகிடதக தரிகிடதக
ta di tum nam tarikadatum ta di tum nam tarikadatum tarikadatum ta di tum nam tarikadatum tarikadatum tarikadatum
தொம் நம் தரிகிடதம் தா தி தொம் நம் தரிகிடதம் தரிகிடதம் தா தி தொம் நம் தரிகிடதம் தரிகிடதம் தரிகிடதம்
taditum nam tarikadatum taditum nam tarikadatum tarikadatum taditum nam tarikadatum tarikadatum tarikadatum
தரிகிடதம் 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 தரிகிடதம்
taditum nam tarikadatum taditum nam tarikadatum tarikadatum taditum nam tarikadatum 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 ta
அப்பன் நீ அம்மை நீ அயனும் நீ அன்புடைய மாமனும் மாமியும் நீ ஒப்புடைய மாதரும் உன் பொருளும் நீ ஒரு குலமும் சுற்றமும் மோரூரும் நீ துய்ப்பணமும் மெய்ப்பணமும் தோற்றுவாய் நீ துணையாய் என் நெஞ்சம் துரபிப்பாய் நீ இப்பன் நீ இம்மை நீ இம்முத்தும் நீ இறைவன் நீ ஏறூந்த செல்வனும் நீ ஏறூந்த செல்வனும் நீ ஏறூந்த செல்வனும் நீ தாங்க தரிகிட 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 தன் தாங்க தரிகிட 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 தன் தாங்க தரிகிட 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 தரிகிட
ಗುರು ಪುರಂದರ ದಾಸರೇ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಚರಣ ಕಮಲವ ನಂಬಿದೆ ಗರ್ವರಹಿತನ ಮಾಡಿ ಎನ್ನನು ಪೊರೆವ ಭಾರವು ನಿಮ್ಮದೇ ಧಿಮ್ ನಂಕಡತಕತ ದಿಮ್ಮಿ ಧಿಮ್ಮಿ ನಮ್ ಕಡತಕತ ದಿಮ್ಮಿ ನಮ್ ಕಡತಕತ ದಿಮ್ಮಿ ಧಿಂ ಕಡತಕತ ದಿಮ್ಮಿ ದಿನ್ ಕಡತಕತ ದಿನ್ ಕಡತಕ ದಿಮ್ ದಿನ್ ನಂಕಡತಕತ ದಿಮ್ಮಿ ಧಿಮ್ಮಿ ನಂಕಡತಕತ ದಿಮ್ಮಿ ನಂಕಡತಕತ ದಿಮ್ಮಿ ಧಿಂ ಕಡತಕತ ದಿಮ್ಮಿ ದಿನ್ ಕಡತಕತ ದಿನ್ ಕಡತಕತ ದಿಮ್ ನಂಕಡತಕತ ದಿಮ್ಮಿ ದಿಮ್ಮಿ ನಮ್ ಕಡತಕತ ದಿಮ್ ನಮ್ ಕಡತಕತ ದಿಮ್ಮಿ ಧಿಂ ಕಡತಕತ ದಿಮ್ಮಿ ದಿನ್ ಕಡತಕತ ದಿಮ್ ಧಿಮ್ ನಂಕಡತಕತ ದಿಮ್ಮಿ ನಂಕಡತಕತ ದಿಮ್ಮಿ ದಿನ್ ಕಡತಕತ ದಿನ್ ನಂಕಡತಕತ ದಿಮ್ಮಿ ನಂಕಡತಕತ ದಿಮ್ಮಿ ದಿನ್ ಕಡತಕತ ದಿಮ್ ನಂಕಡತಕತ ದಿಮ್ಮಿ ನಮ್ ಕಡತಕತ ದಿಮ್ಮಿ ದಿನ್ ಕಡತಕತ ನಮ್ ಕಡತಕತ ದಿದ್ದ ದಿನ್ ಕಡತಕತ ನಮ್ ಕಡತಕತ ದಿದ್ದ ದಿನ್ ಕಡತಕತ ನಮ್ ಕಡತಕತ ದಿದ್ದ ದಿನ್ ಕಡತಕತ 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 ದಿನ್ ಕಡತಕತ
தாம் தரிகிடதக தாம் தரிகிடதக தாம் தரிகிடதக தாம் தத்தக்கிடதக தரிகிடதக தாம் தரிகிடதக தாம் தரிகிடதக தாம் தரிகிடதக தாம் தத்தக்கிடதக தரிகிடதக தாம் தரிகிடதக தாம் கிடதக தரிகிடதக தாம் தரிகிடதக தாம் கிடதக தரிகிடதம் தா கிடதக தரிகிடதம் தி கிடதக தரிகிடதம் தோம் கிடதக தரிகிடதம் நம் கிடதக தரிகிடதம் தா கிடதக தரிகிடதம் கிடதக தரிகிடதம் கிடதக தரிகிடதம் தா தக்கிடதக தரிகிடதம் கிடதக தரிகிடதம் கிடதக தரிகிடதம் தா தத்திக்கிடதக தரிகிடதம் கிடதக தரிகிடதம் கிடதக தரிகிடதம் தாம் கிடதக தரிகிடதக தகதிம் தத்தத்திம் தத்தம் கிடதக தரிகிடதக தகதிம் தத்தத்திம் தத்தித்தம் கிடதக தரிகிடதக தகதிம் தத்தத்திம் தலாங்கதம் தத்திம் தலாங்கதம் தத்திம் தங்கடதக தரிகிடதக தகதிம் தத்தத்திம் தத்தங்கடதக தரிகிடதக தகதிம் தத்தத்திம் தத்தங்கடதக தரிகிடதக தகதிம் தத்தத்திம் தலாங்கதம் தத்திம் தலாங்கதம் தத்திம் தங்கடதக தரிகிடதக தகதிம் தத்தத்திம் தத்தங்கடதக தரிகிடதக தகதிம் தத்தத்திம் தத்தித்தங்கடதக தரிகிடதக தகதிம் தத்தத்திம் தலாங்கதம் தத்திம் தத்தங்கடதக தரிகிடதக தகதிம் தத்தத்திம் தலாங்கதம் தத்திம் தத்தங்கடதக தரிகிடதக தகதிம் தத்தத்திம் தலாங்கதம் தத்திம் தலாங்கதம் தத்திம் தத்திம் தலாங்கதம் தத்திம் தத்திம் தத்தகதிம் தத்தத்திம் தரிகிடதக தகதனதிம் தத்தகதிம் தத்தத்திம் தத்தரிகிடதக தகதன தகதனதிம் தத்தித்தகதிம் தத்தத்திம் தத்தித்தரிகிடதக தகதன தகதன தகதனதி தா இ கி ட தும் தா தி கி ட தும் தத்தி கி ட தும் தத்தி கிட்ட 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 தும்
தகதிம் தத்தத்திம் தரிகிடதக தகதனதிம் தத்தகதிம் தத்தத்திம் தத்தரிகிடதக தகதன தகதனதிம் தத்தித்தகதிம் தத்தத்திம் தத்தித்தரிகிடதக தகதன தகதன தகதனதிம் தா தி கி நா தும் தா தி கி நா தும் தா தி கி நா தும் தத்தி 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 கி நா தும் தா தி கி நா தும் தா தி கி நா தும் தா தி கி நா தும் தகதிம் தத்தத்திம் தரிகிடதக தகதனதிம் தத்தகதிம் தத்தத்திம் தத்தரிகிடதக தகதிம் தத்திம் தத்தித்தகதிம் தத்தத்திம் தத்தித்தரிகிடதக தகதிம் திம் தா தி கி நா தும் தா தி கி நா தும் தும் தா தி கி நா தும் தும் தத்தித்தரிகிடதும் 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 தா தகதலாம் தகதலாம் தகதல தக்க தின்னதாம் தக்க தின்னதாம் தக்க தின்ன தக்க தின்னதாம் தக்க தின்னதாம் தகதில தக்க தின்னதாம்
Was expert conical there by Vidban and Kumari, and it does remind me, conical, which I'm terrible at, of something else from completely the other side of that continent, that I'm also terrible at, which is step dancing. So from South India, we're heading back to the Celtic countries, where step dancing is a form of percussion. It's not technically a notation system, but it's more a form of percussion using your feet. But bearing in mind that I was taught very, very basic Konakol, where we have ta, ka, di, mi, which is different corners of your mouth to make it easier to say quickly. And this reminds me of using the front and the back of the 2 feet, just the 4 corners of your feet, to make the percussive rhythm. Now, step dancing is popular in Ireland, where obviously it's become Irish dancing, Scotland, Wales, and even in America it's become tap dancing. So we're going to listen to some step dancing from Wales, North Wales, by the group Callan. So we're talking about music notation systems from around the world, the way people record the music in a form other than just straight up singing or playing it. So I was interested to learn about different notation systems that I didn't know much about. I still don't know much about them, but tablature is one that I don't know, that a lot of you listening may be familiar with how tablature works, because it's used for fretted stringed instruments like guitars. Now, it uses a staff, but instead of pitch values like modern Western notation, each line represents a different string of the instrument. And even though it is used for fretted string instruments like guitars today, it was used in the Middle Ages for organ music and later also for lute music. So let's listen to some organ and lute music using tablature notation. We'll start off by hearing Pepe Frana playing a 15th century piece on lute. It was written down in tablature in the 15th century, and then we'll listen to a 17th century organ prelude by David Abel, played by Evan de Jong. Now, you can listen to this organ prelude on YouTube, where you can see the tablature moving across the screen as he plays. Now, I cannot make heads or tails of the tablature. I have no idea how he's going from the squiggles that we see to the music that we hear. So that's fascinating to me, because usually I can sort of work out what's happening with the music notation. But anyway, here we go. 15th century lute, followed by 17th century organ. That was 15th century lute, followed by 17th century organ, although obviously both played in the modern day, but tunes that were first written down in the 15th and 17th century using tablature, the music notation system mostly used these days by guitars. So, as time went on, both lute and organ and guitar music began to be written in what is now standard Western music notation, until the late 20th century, when it became popular again for guitar music and other fretted instruments. Now, this is because it's easy to transcribe and share over the internet, which I think is probably true because standard Western notation, you need to transcribe digitally on a special program, and then you basically have to save it as a PDF so that the person on the other end that you send it to over the internet can read it. It's all very complicated. So apparently tablature is much easier to send over the internet, and that's why it became popular again for guitars in the late 20th century. So we'll come back to the West in a little bit, but first let's go to Korea, where the first music notation system in East Asia to represent rhythm, pitch, and time was developed. I did mention at the beginning of the program that there aren't many music notation systems in the world that tell you both the tune and the rhythm. So this music notation system from Korea is called Jeonggangbo, and it was invented during the time of King Sejong the Great in the 14th century. Now, to me, it looks like a page of maths or maybe a spending ledger. I'm not sure. But anyway, you write the pitch down. There are lots of boxes, and you write the pitch down in one box, and then you can subdivide each box for the beat. And there's also ways in this notation system to mark the ornaments as well, which are the little twiddly bits that you get in music. So let's hear from the modern band called Dalum, which plays the traditional Korean instruments of gayagum and gyeomango. And yes, they are a modern band, so I'm not sure if they're using the Jeonggangbo notation system or not, but nevertheless, it's traditional Korean musical instruments. So that was the Korean band Dalum playing two traditional Korean stringed instruments. And we're talking about music notation systems from around the world. Now, one of the first ways that people try and note the music down, because of course, just like written language it's not something that everyone has. We learn language by speaking to each other. The same is true with music. A lot of cultures around the world learn music by ear, by listening, by practicing, by playing it, by memorizing it. So music notation starts as an aid to your memory to remind you where you're going up, where you're going down. So one of the first ways that people do this is to make notes above the words. So ancient Greek music notation wrote letter symbols for each pitch above the text. And we have epitaph from as early as the 2nd century BC, as well as the Delphic hymns from around the same time that use this notation, where they write little letters above the text to tell singers what notes to sing. Celtic musicians, where in Celtic music we often learn traditionally by ear, also tend to write squiggles above the notes to remind them of the tunes. And Orthodox cantors, especially in the Slavic tradition, will put little arrows or carrots over the words that go up or down at the end of the phrase, because Slavic church music often has just like one note all the way through the phrase right until the end, where you do something interesting, you go up or down or so on. So it reminds you where you're meant to be doing that. Which gets me on to Byzantine notation, which is like this basic memory jogger system made more complicated. So it's a very complex system of neumes, which is spelt Neumes, which are all specific squiggles that tell you whether you go up or down and so on in the tune. Now, the squiggles became so complicated. They were first developed in the Byzantine Empire, so they were once used for court ceremonies and all sorts of other things. Now mostly used for liturgical music in Greek, Antiochian, Alexandrian, Romanian churches. But the squiggles that were used in Byzantine notation became so complicated that they were completely overhauled in the 19th century by three guys called Chrysanthos, Gregory, and Hormusios. And that's why it's also called Chrysanthian notation, after one of the inventors that overhauled it in the 19th century. And the Byzantine neumes are modal. So they start at any pitch, whatever's most comfortable for your voice, and the notation system will tell you to move 1 or 2 degrees higher or lower and so on, rather than modern Western notation where it tells you what note to start on. So here we'll listen to the Antiochian Orthodox Christian Youth of Victoria singing Psalm 94. This was in 2019, and I am actually in this recording, and we learnt it from a page using the Byzantine notation. So that was Byzantine chant sung by the Antiochian Orthodox Christian Youth of Victoria and learnt from Byzantine neume notation, which is squiggles above the words that tell you, depending on the shape of the squiggle, whether to go up or down one or two notes. So sort of halfway conceptually between Byzantine notation and modern Western notation is Gregorian chant notation, where they've got 4 lines of stave rather than 5 as we have in the modern system, and they will have the dots telling you what to sing, where to sing, but they will also have lines between the dots, which rather than in the modern system it will tell you the length of the note. The lines between the dots in Gregorian chant usually will tell you to glide up or down between the notes. And Byzantine notation has names for all the notes: pa, vu, ra, vi, ke, zo, and ne. And the intervals vary according to the mode. But solfege, used in the West, has the same thing. So where does it come from? I'd always assumed, sort of, that solfege was probably invented quite recently to teach music. There was a Hungarian music pedagogist, so he was thinking about how to teach music in the last century, called Kodály, who uses solfege quite heavily in his system. So I sort of thought, well, maybe he invented it. So I was interested to learn that solfege actually comes from about the 11th century. It was invented by the Italian music theorist Guido of Arezzo, and it's named after the first 6 notes in a hymn. The Latin hymn, Ut Quaeant Laxis. Now, I don't speak Latin, but it's the hymn to St. John the Baptist. And each line of the hymn begins 1 scale degree higher. And so he took the first syllable of each line of the hymn and said, this is now the name of that note from that scale degree. So this creates ut, re, mi, fa, sol, and la. Now, let's listen to this old Latin hymn written in Gregorian chant notation, but it's the hymn that gave us solfege, the note names we now use in the West. So that was the Latin hymn Ut Quaeant Laxis, written in Gregorian chant notation, but it is the hymn that gave us the words Ut, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, and La, based on the first syllable of each line and the note that it is sung on. Now, in the 1600s, the first syllable of that was changed to Do by Giovanni Battista Doni to be an open syllable like the others. And Si was added to complete the scale, after the acronym of Sancte Ioannes, or Saint John. In English-speaking countries, we usually use T instead of Si, so that it doesn't get confused with so. Now, in Elizabethan era England, they only used mi, fa, sol, and la, and then repeated them for the next 4 notes. So the scale would be fa, sol, la, mi, fa. See, I can sing. And this also appears in a Shakespeare play, King Lear, where in Act 1, Scene 2, Edmund exclaims, "Oh, these eclipses do portend these divisions. Fa, sol, la, mi." Which I don't think I sang the right notes there. But solfege is also used with colours. Isaac Newton developed, associated the 7 syllables with the 7 colours of the rainbow. He thought that each colour vibrated according to the in the same way as the notes. So red vibrates the least amount, like the lowest note, and violet vibrates the most, like the highest note. There are also hand signs for solfege, so you can convey the notes that you should sing through gestures rather than writing or speaking them. And of course, one of the most familiar uses of solfege to most people is probably from The Sound of Music.
Let's start at the very beginning, a very good place to start. When you read, you begin with A, B, C. When you sing, you begin with Do, Re, Mi.
Do, re, mi.
Do, Re, Mi. The first 3 notes just happen to be Do, Re, Mi.
Do, re, mi.
Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Ti. Oh, let's see if I can make it easier. Do, a deer, a female deer. Re, a drop of golden sun. Mi, a name I call myself. Fa, a long, long way to run. So, a needle pulling thread. La, a note to follow. So, tea, a drink with jam and bread. That will bring us back to do. Oh, oh, oh. Do. A deer, a female deer.
Re,
A drop of golden sun.
mi.
A name I call myself.
Fa.
A long, long way to run. So, a needle pulling thread. La, a note to follow. So, tea,
A drink with jam and bread.
that will bring us back to do.
A deer, a female deer. Ray, a drop of golden sun. Me, a name I call myself. Ma, a long, long way to run.
So, a needle pulling thread. La, a note to follow. So, tea, a drink with jam and bread. That will bring us back to do. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. So, do. Now, children, do, re, mi, fa, so, and so on are only the tools we use to build a song. Once you have these notes in your heads, you can sing a million different tunes by mixing them up, like this. So, do, la, fa, mi, do, re. Can you do that?
So, do, la, fa, mi, do, re.
So, do, la, ti, do, re, do.
So, do, la, ti, do, re, do.
Now put it all together. So, do, la, fa, mi, do, re. So, do, la, ti, do, re, do. Good.
But it doesn't mean anything.
So we put in words, 1 word for every note, like this. When you know the notes to sing, you can sing most anything together. When you know the notes to sing, you can sing most anything. Do,
A deer, a female deer. Ray,
so, me, so, so, hey, ha, ha, la, ti, ti. When you know the notes to sing, you can sing most anything.
So that was Do a Deer from The Sound of Music, which is teaching where the Maria teaches the children how to sing using solfege, a syllable-based notation system. Another syllable-based notation system is Merukhand, used in Hindustani classical music from North India. Now, Merukhand is actually an improvisation practice technique where it chooses a fixed set of notes or swaras and breaks them up in various ways. My music lecturer at university tried to teach us this, but it takes a lot of skill and practice to be able to do it automatically and fluently. So here's Monica Soni improvising off 4 notes using Merukhand. And she does make several comments throughout.
Sa re ga ma ga sa ga re ma sa ga ma re sa ma ga re sa ga ma re sa ma ga re ga sa ma re ga ma sa ga re ma ga sa re ma ga sa ma re ga ma sa ga ma re ga ma re sa re ga ma sa ga re ma sa ga ma re ga सा रे मा ग रे सा। इसका पद्धति ये है सा रे गा मा, फिर लास्ट के 2 सुरों को व्युत क्रम किया है। सा रे गा मा सा रे मा ग, फिर सा रे की जगह सा गा लिया। सा ग रे मा सा ग मा रे, लास्ट के जो 2 सुरों का युग्म है उसी को उलटना। सा ग रे मा सा ग मा रे सा मा रे ग सा मा ग रे। अब ऋषभ से शुरू करेंगे। रे सा ग मा रे सा मा ग रे ग सा मा रे ग मा सा रे मा सा ग रे मा ग सा रे मा ग सा मा रे ग रे सा मा ग रे मा सा ग मा सा रे ग मा रे सा। फिर मध्यम से मा सा रे ग मा सा ग रे मा रे सा ग मा रे ग सा मा ग सा रे मा ग रे सा। इसी तरह से हर घाट में हर रागनी से बनाया जा सकता है। सा रे ग म सा रे म ग सा ग रे म सा ग म रे सा म रे ग सा म ग रे रे सा ग म रे सा म ग रे ग सा म रे ग म सा रे म सा ग रे म ग सा रे म ग सा म रे ग रे सा म ग रे म सा ग म सा रे ग म रे सा म सा रे ग म सा ग रे म रे सा ग म रे ग सा म ग सा रे म ग रे सा रे ग म प म ग रे। फिर रे ग म प रे ग म प रे ग प म रे म ग प रे म प ग रे प ग म रे प म ग रे म प ग रे प म ग म रे प ग म प रे ग प रे म ग प म रे ग प म रे प ग म ग रे प म ग प रे म प रे ग म प ग रे ग म प रे म ग प ग रे म प ग म रे प म रे ग प म ग रे ग म प ध ग म प और ध। इससे भी 24 पैटर्न्स बनेंगे। ग म प ध ग म ध प ग प म ध ग प ध म ग ध म प ग ध प म ग प ध म ग ध प म प ग ध म प ध ग म ध ग प म ध प ग म ध प ग ध म प म ग ध प म ध ग प ध ग म प ध म ग द ग म प ध ग प म ध म ग प ध म प ग ध प ग म ध प म ग। इसके बाद म प ध नि म प ध नि म प ध नि म प नि ध म ध प नि म ध नि प म नि प ध म नि ध प म ध नि प म नि ध प ध म नि प ध नि म प नि म ध प नि ध म प नि ध म नि प ध प म नि ध प नि म ध नि म प ध नि प म नि म प ध नि म ध
That was Monica Soni improvising off 4 notes using Merichand, the system of syllable-based music notation used in Hindustani classical music in North India. Now, we're nearing the end of the programme, and I did start it by talking about Counterach, the syllable-based notation system used in Scotland. So it is the traditional method of teaching, learning, and memorising bagpipe music. So staff notation, modern Western music staff notation, wasn't used for bagpipes until at least the 19th century. But there were early efforts to write down Counterach syllables in the early 18th century, such as the Campbell Counterach by Callan Mór Campbell from Argyll. Now, different piping schools had slightly different systems, but basically, vowels represent the melody notes, consonants represent the grace notes, and other embellishments. So, for example, if you have the note syllable e, but it has a G grace note, you pronounce it she. Now, some ornaments also have their own names, like Hinnerin. That's one of them. So, here is, I'm not a piper, so here's a traditional piper and singer, Rona Lightfoot, talking about Counterach.
It's a form of teaching the music, especially the music of the bagpipe. I could teach you a tune by word of mouth, by singing it to you.
So it's learning it by ear, basically?
Yes, and it's also a form of teaching you the phrasing of Ceol Mór, the pibreach.
Ceol Mór is this big music.
The big music of the Highland bagpipe. And it's very, very important to have Counterach for that kind of teaching. Where I come from, everybody, women and children, everybody could Counterach a tune, and still can.
And can you give me just a quick example of just maybe a phrase on the pipes and then a phrase sung?
Bara hara huri hiri hui hiri hiri hodro hara huri hiri bara hara huri hiri hiri horo hara bara hara. Now you're putting in all the movements of the fingers.
The decoration and embellishments.
Yes, like bra is a throw on D, and the pupil would know that that's what it means.
So what's a throw on D? Yeah.
And I said hara, that means the shake as well.
I get you. So each different hand movement has a vocable, if you like, associated with it.
Yes, that's right. And I think especially with Ceol Mór, it's easier for me to follow the piper who's a Gaelic speaker.
Of course, loads of musicians across the world, all types of musicians, communicate, vocally with one another. In Ireland, they call it lilting.
Yes,
and the rhythm is all based on, the word diddle.
Yes.
Yes. So it's a fascinating...
It's the sound the instrument makes.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Like, the throw on D and the turlu and yes, the burl. Hetherim for a burl.
What's a burl?
Hetherim. With a grace note, it's hetherim.
Hetherim.
Without it, it's just hetherim.
Hetherim.
Hetherim and hetherim.
I think I've got you. Could we try and do the grounds of a pibroch together?
Yes, indeed, that would be nice.
I'll see if I can follow on with you. What is this one?
My king has landed in Mindert. Hanik Maruiet Chid Amujart.
We'll give it a go.
Chadro brachan, chadro drocham, tian tabracham branham, chadro brachan, tio bracham, chadro brachan, chadro
This has been the first episode of The Tune Tapestry, the show where we tug at the threads of traditional music from across time and space and discover the surprising connections around the world. I hope you've enjoyed the first episode, and you'll join me again next week at the same time, 8 a.m. on a Wednesday, to learn more about traditional and classical music from around the world and the similarities between them.
Ellinika.
Arabic. English.
Español.
5VBI, Hear a World of Difference.